Hello guys, today we'll be finishing off section 3.4, adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So this is the second part. It's the same lesson, it's just the second part. We're finishing it up. Okay, so when you're ready, we're going to do a quick little review. Okay, so just one more time, recall from before. So when you're adding or subtracting fractions, the first thing you have to do is make sure you have a common denominator. Okay, so we asked ourselves, do we have a common denominator here? No, we do not. 4 and 12 are different, so we need to change them so they're the same. Okay, that can easily be done because we can change 4 into 12 by multiplying it by 3. But whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. Okay, so now we're going to change our fraction. We're just rewriting our fraction, okay? It's still equal to the same thing. We're just rewriting it in a different way. So 3 times 3 is 9. And 4 times 3 is 12. Bring down our subtraction sign. And this one hasn't changed because it already has 12 on the bottom, so we just bring that down. Okay, we have the same denominator, so we're good to go. We go top minus top, so 9 minus 1 is 8. And we always, when we're adding or subtracting, keep our denominator. So 8 over 12. Then, if possible, can we simplify? So simplifying is dividing the top and the bottom by the same number. Okay, so I notice here we got 8 and 12. I can already see without writing out my multiples, my factors, I can already see that 8 can be divided by 4 to give me a nice whole number, and so can 12. So I'm going to just do that. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. That will be our final answer. Okay, when you have this written down in your exercise book, you can move on to the next slide. Okay, write this down as we go, just 2 quick little examples before we move on to the new stuff. This is from last lesson. We're just changing improper fractions. This one is improper. We got something bigger on the top than on the bottom. So we're changing this to mixed numbers. Okay, and mixed numbers is something like this. We have a nice big whole number and alongside of it a little fraction. So we're going to change this to a mixed number, and we do that by saying how many times does 4 go into 11? 4 goes into 11 2 times. Because 4 times 2 is 8, and how many do I have left over? So if we have 8, 11 minus 8 is 3, and we keep our denominator. Done. Okay? Now, if we want to change this to improper, the trick is we start here with our 7. We go 7 times 3 is 21. So we go times here. And then 21 plus our numerator. 21 plus 1 is 22. 22 goes on the top of our fraction. And then we just keep the denominator that we started with. Okay, once you have this down in your exercise book, we're ready to move on to a new example. Okay, so I want you to quickly write down this note. So when you are adding or subtracting mixed numbers, you first convert them to improper fractions, then add or subtract like usual. So we're just adding a step into what we usually do. Okay, so we have this example here. You can see we're not used to seeing mixed numbers here. But don't get confused. You know how to change this to an improper fraction, and when you have an improper fraction, this looks a lot easier if we just use our steps. So take a second, write this down, and then we'll go through it together. Okay, by now you should have this note written down and the start of this example. Okay, so the first step is if you have any mixed numbers, so something like this, change it to improper fractions. So 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. So this becomes 5 over, we keep our denominator, 3. Okay, so write this step down below it. So we say equals 5 over 3. We just converted this, bring down our addition sign, and bring down our fraction. Okay, now, we can't add fractions until we have a common denominator. So we look here, 3 on the bottom, 3 on the bottom. They're good to put together. We don't have to do anything else with it. So we say top plus top, 5 plus 1 is 6. And we keep our denominator on the bottom of 3. Okay, now I want you to write down this little note next to it. Okay, once you have an improper fraction here, you can always change it back to a mixed number, and that's what we'll do because that some people consider that a simplified answer. So 6 over 3, we're going to change to a mixed number. How many times does 3 go into 6? 3 goes into 6 2 times with no remainder, so the answer is 2. So take a second and make sure you have all that written down, and then we'll move on to one more example that we'll do together. Okay, follow along with this example and write it down in your exercise book. So just write down the start right here, and then we'll do this one together. Okay, 2 and 2 over 5, subtract 1 over 3. So what's our first step? Our first step is, we have a mixed number. We have to convert that to an improper fraction. Okay, so to convert that to an improper fraction, we look here. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. 12 over our denominator of 5. Then we just bring down our subtraction sign, and we bring down 1 over 3. Okay, so here, and I want you to write that down alongside, we need to find a common denominator. Okay, this is like what we usually do. Once you convert, the steps are the same as what we usually do. So to find a common denominator, I'm going to write the multiples of 3 and 5. So the multiples of 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and so on. And the multiples of 5, 5, 10, 15, 20. Look, what's my common denominator here? So what's common? We don't have a 5, we don't have a 10 in both of them, but we do have a 15. So a 15 is common in both of them, so that's what we want on the bottom of our fractions. So to change 5 into 15, we're going to multiply by 3. Whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top. And to change 3 into 15, we multiply by 5. Whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. Okay, so 12 times 3. Okay, if you find that a little bit difficult, don't be afraid to pop it into your calculator. 12 times 3 is 36. Okay, so 36 over 15. Subtract, and then 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, so now we have a common denominator. We're going to put these together. So we go top, subtract top, which is 31. 36 minus 5 is 31. And then we keep our denominator, 15. So then again, we're left with an improper fraction. To simplify it, we change it to a mixed number. So to change this into a mixed number, how many times does 15 go into 30? Well, 15 can go into 30 twice, and you can check that on the calculator. So you go 31 divided by 15. Okay, it goes in twice with a little bit left over. But how much is left over? So 15 goes into 30 twice. 15 times 2 is 30. And we have 1 left over here. So 15 goes into 31 twice. 1 left over, and we bring down our denominator. 1 over 15. Okay, when you have this written down, we're ready to move on to the next one. So I want you to try this one on your own. Pause the video, try it on your own, and when you come back, I'm not going to go through it step by step as detailed as I did the first time. I'm just going to show you the solution, and if you got it right, great, you're ready to move on. If not, go back and find out where you made your mistake. Okay, so by now you should have this one done. So here's your solution. Check as you go along. First step, change the mixed numbers. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So we have 3 over 2 here. 3 over 2 plus 1 over 7. When we add, they need to be the same on the bottom, so we have to find a common denominator. Common denominator would be, if we look here, 14 and 14. So we have to change this to 14 by multiplying it by 7. Multiplying it by 7. And here multiplying it by 2. Multiplying it by 2. So this becomes 3 times 7, 21. 2 times 7 is 14. And this is 1 times 2 is 2. 7 times 2 is 14. We add these together. Top plus top. 21 plus 2 is 23. And we keep our denominator 14. So now we have an improper fraction. All that's left to do is to simplify it and change it to a mixed number. So how many times does 14 go into 23? Pop it up on your calculator if you're unsure. 23 divided by 14 is 1, and we have some left over. So 14 goes into 23 1 time, and we have 9 left over. 14 times 1 is 14. And how many do we have left over from that? 9. 9 over 14. Okay, and the last example for today. Try it on your own. 4 and 1 over 3. Subtract 2 over 9. Your first step is to convert, so get started there. And when you come back, let's see if you got the right answer. Okay, so by now you should have this one attempted. So the first step is to change this. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. 13 over 3. Okay, you find your common denominator. Common denominator is 9. So to change this to 9, we have to multiply it by 3. Which means we have to multiply the top by 3. So that would make this 39 over 9. Subtract 2 over 9. We're good to put these together. 39 subtract 2 is 37. Then we keep our denominator, so we have 37 over 9. Then our last step is always to simplify, so we have to say, and change this to mixed numbers. So how many times does 9 go into 37? Well, 9 times 4 is 36, so 9 goes into 37 4 times with 1 left over. So 4 times, 1 left over, and we keep our denominator of 9. So if you got this right, that's great. You're ready to try to practice work. If you had a lot of trouble with these, please let me know so I can sit down and go through them with you. So you'll be more confident when you're ready to move on to the practice work. Okay, so practice work today. There's no textbook work, but we have a worksheet to do. Just let me know when you're ready to get that worksheet.